Hot dang! We already got somebody hanging out in the chat with us. Thank you, Violet Bit Kitten, for joining in today's stream. And for everybody else who is tuning in just now, hello. I am Kelsey D. Crawford. I make comics and art, and today I am drawing commissions. There have been some commission orders in the last couple of days, and as a part of the reward bundles for folks who backed The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volume 2 on Crowdfunder. So that's exciting. I'm going to be drawing some of those commissions that folks have requested in today's stream. Hello, Jessica. Happy to see you in the chat today. And we're just going to go right into it. I'm going to start with this commission from upcoming VTuber on the commission board that I'm keeping track of everything. This is one of the cool cats, but I have the file up, so let us actually rough in some of these pencils here. I do also have notes in a separate window that you can't see on the stream, but I have it up as a reference to pull from for some of the smaller details. Alrighty, I think I like that color. Let's do that one, but shrink the tip. Because right now it's at 26. Let's shrink it to 20. Yeah. There we go. Little button nose. Because, pro tip for anybody who does not know, this is one of those, like, tired, wired, inspired takes, but this is the inspired take. Anime is cats. It's not that anime is white or anime is Asian. It's that anime is cats. By that, I mean, have you looked at the proportions of a usual anime girl? It's usually like a little circular face and then a nose like that or a jaw like that. Well, if you just change the ear placement to here and the nose, that's a cat. But if you just change a couple of details, ear, it's anime. Anime is cats. It uses the same proportion rules as drawing a cat. There you go. And now you can't get that out of your head. You're welcome. Okay. I am still going to incorporate some anime aesthetics with this particular character design, but I do want to still make it my own. The cool cat is a cat. Yes, indeed she is. It's pretty great. Just we're gonna use this to delineate the blush. Just for now. This is just the pencil stage. We're not doing any colors or anything yet. So. I have the one reference image up here, so. Also, the little hair curl is shaped like a heart. That's very cute. I'm trying to remember what the name of that flower is. This was mentioned in the notes. Let me actually consult the notes real quick. Oh, it was just flower. I will look up flower symbology. Actually, I need to be doing that anyway, because I have a short story for a robot anthology that's happening. And the robot is actually a gardener robot. And there's going to be a lot of, like, flower symbology and flower meanings in that particular short story. So I should really get some notes together for that because of that. So... yeah, so the looking up any notes about flowers and their meanings will serve two purposes. It'll help flesh out this commission a little bit, and it'll also help me with the robots short story that I'm going to be working on. So, you know, two birds with one stone, that sort of dealio. Got the little ears. There is a little part of me that wants to draw them as they're kind of shown here, but I also kind of want to draw them like... because I have a 1-year-old kitten. His name is Mooney Vegeta Muser Peterson Crawford, and he has these adorable little tufts. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of him up in this little corner viewfinder, actually. Because his little ear tufts are quite cute. Oh, I should have plenty of new pictures because he's not over here now, but he's been napping on my drafting table for the last couple of days anytime that I'm working at the studio. It's his new favorite hangout spot. There he is. In the upper right corner in the little sub viewfinder, there's a little picture of Mooney. Oh, catching up on comments here. It's a common one for VTubers, but it is so cute. It is. I never thought much about the meaning of the flower. It was just an option on the customizable model that I liked. Most people don't really think about the symbolic meaning of flowers. Admittedly, it's something that was really only like in vogue during like Shakespearean times up through the Victorian era. And then after the Victorian era, people kind of like fell off of keeping track of flowers in their symbology. So, and part of that is just because most times people only gift each other flowers for the super special occasions like weddings and funerals and graduations. And it's kind of up to the florists to know what each flower represents. And even then, most florists nowadays are just like, does the color match what's intended? Cool. We'll just go with that. But looking at like the traditional meanings of certain flowers, because I've done some preliminary research on it already. Little tufts. Like how Mooney has them. There we go. Because he's got the cutest little tufts. I lost my train of thought. Oh, the meaning of flowers. So there were a couple of flower meanings that, I mean, a lot of flower meanings kind of overlap with each other. So if you're trying to go for a particular vibe, you can mix and match flowers and you'll still get the meaning across. Like daisies. Daisies are one of those flowers that the meaning of a daisy overlaps with like daffodils and pink carnations and a bunch of other ones. Because daisies usually represent friendships and new beginnings. Daisies appear a lot in the robot short story that I'm scripting right now. But daisies also share that meaning of new beginnings with daffodils. Daffodils also represent new beginnings. And there are some flowers that, like, if you see them in a bouquet, it's like, ooh, this person does not like you. Like, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember one of the ones. Oh, tansy was one of those kinds of flowers that if you see it in a bouquet, that means the person hates your guts. So if you ever get a bouquet with tansy in it, maybe just, you know, casually get that person out of your life. Hyacinths also means something, but I feel like the meaning of a hyacinth means something different. I'm thinking about hyacinth as they popped up in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but I feel like the meaning of that might be a bit different. Okay. I wanted to check the note about the collar, because I remember there were notes about the collar. Glasses. Can't forget the glasses. You know what? I'm going to actually draw those in a different color. Let's do green. Again, these are roughs. They don't have to be perfect, but actually, there we go. Figured I'd remove that because the these parts of the glasses, the little legs, are usually intended for like human ears, but dealing with a cat girl, so they would need to like just sit on the nose and chill. Okay, there were notes about the dress. Let me check the notes about the dress. Okay. Okay. So we're doing sleeveless. And I recall there was a shape to the dress. Let me pull up the reference images here. Okay. Yeah. It's actually a really cute dress shape. Back when I wore dresses more frequently, I had a lot of dresses kind of shaped like this. Honestly, really easy to sew, by the way. Dresses are, depending on the style of dress, not that hard. Okay, and then we're gonna have a little bust right here. Technical terms are eluding me for dresses right now, even though I should know them because I've been sewing a lot more off stream. I actually briefly considered, should I just have like a hangout and chill live stream where I'm just like knitting my sweaters because I knit sweaters whenever I'm not drawing comics and stuff, and then I'm like, that's for me. That's just the fun stuff. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I'm not gonna stream that. Oh, Jessica asks, speaking of cats, how is Bree Bree doing? She has been very fussy today. I mean, she's usually fussy whenever I'm like sitting at the drafting table doing work, but she has been extra fussy today. And she's been in a very cuddly mood. I think it's because of the shift in weather, and she's been a little extra cold lately. It doesn't sit well on her little old lady bones. So I think part of her wanting to cuddle a little bit more is that she just wants to be warm. So I've been holding her a lot more than usual lately. To quote Johnny Bravo, my glasses, I can't be seen without my glasses. Yeah, I'm probably not doing it right. I didn't watch too much Johnny Bravo growing up as a kid, although I found out Johnny Bravo did a full-on episode breakdown of Dragon Ball Z in an actual episode of the Johnny Bravo show because there was a fan, a little fangirl who wrote a letter to him saying that she wanted something to do with Dragon Ball Z. And so Johnny Bravo was like, yeah, how about we just break it down? And then he did a full-on episode breakdown of a Dragon Ball Z episode, and it was great. That made me so happy when I found out that was a thing. And it aired on network television. That was even better. Oh, it was so good. Okay. Bit of a waist cincher kind of sitch going on here. And then gonna get a little flowy with the dress. Because admittedly, the pose is pretty, I don't want to say stiff, but it is definitely practiced. So I want to get a little bit of motion in on this character art. And I'm like, hey, how about we put it in the skirt? Skirts are flowy. There we go. Get a cute little bell shape going. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so cute. Look at this cute little cat girl. It's great. Alrighty, so we got that, and we got the basic, we got the pose. I'm consulting my notes. Give me just a sec. Okay, I think I've basically hit all of the notes. The only thing that is left would be colors. Because I have a couple of notes about the colors, but we're not at that stage yet. So, cool. Yeah, we're off to a pretty good start here. Adorable. Oh, any preference for shoes? I realize this is a full figure, and I know that YouTubers aren't, or VTubers aren't often depicted from, like, head to toe, but if there is a preference for, like, what kind of shoes that you would like this model to wear, definitely let me know. Feeling the weather change already. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling it, too. That's why I have this on. I don't have my, like, full-on wrist brace on right now, but oh boy, have I been needing to wear it after work the last couple of days, because, woof. For folks who may not know, back in 2013, like 10 years ago, wow, this was 10 years ago, I broke this wrist in a skating accident. And it was, thankfully, it was only the largest bone in the wrist. It wasn't any of the smaller ones. But still, I did fracture the largest wrist in the bone, and it took well over a month for it to heal properly. I have full motion now. But, you know, it still helps to do your, wrist stretches and stuff. But anytime that there's a change in weather, I definitely feel it in my drawn wrist now. Simple and I think you mean flats. Am I reading that right, Violet? Let me know. Whatever you think looks good. I think simple flats would work. Yeah. Like little ballet flats. I think they would work. One of these days I'm actually going to do a, going back to wrists and wrist stretches. One of these days I am going to make an actual, like, video going into wrist exercises to, you know, make sure that you don't get the carpal tunnel, because that's important. Oh. That was a little too much on that curve. Okay, that's a bit better. Yeah. Actually, Violet, keep me posted and let me know what you think, because I can just move on to the next step if, you know, things are looking good. This is one of the reasons I like live streaming commissions. That way, whenever the commissioning party is watching, I can get feedback live before I move on to the next step. Because I like to get feedback from folks who commission from me at every stage. Because I want to make sure that we are making this the best that it can. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out, show you what we got. Here's what we got so far. Let me know what you think. I can add little flourishes. I still got to add a flower because I would like to add a flower. Simple and flat shoes. It's cool. I figured you meant flats. Love to see wrist exercises. I destroyed my right wrist. Totally understand. Yeah, and I am right-handed. I did temporarily learn how to write left-handed, and then I never kept up the practice, so now that practice has atrophied a little bit. But one of these days I do want to get better at left-handed stuff. Because, like, in case anybody is curious, just look up the case of Yuko Ota. Like, scary, but I'm so glad that Yuko managed to figure out how to draw with her left hand, considering everything that happened. Oh, yay! I'm so glad that this looks great. Thank you so much, Violet. With your permission, I would love to go into the next step, which the next step would be inking this in. But I will only ink this in with your permission. If we are good to go, just let me know. We're going to save our progress first. Always save your progress, kids. I'm going to drink my tea. Speaking of progress, for folks who backed or are thinking of backing the Mr. Dino Pride merch on Crowdfunder, there's more info on that in the doobly-doo. The Crowdfunder is getting an extension. We were originally slated to end the campaign September 30th, but I found out the supplier for the keychains is actually taking a small vacation. So to accommodate around that, we're extending the campaign to October 6th. Because by then, our supplier will be back from vacation and we can actually put the order in, and the order will actually get done. So that's why we're doing it the way that we are. We did hit our base goal for Mr. Dino Pride merch. If we can hit our first stretch goal, then we can add one of Mr. Dino's friends, Bronto, as a sticker, as a little sticker included with all merch orders. More info on that is going to be on the Crowdfunder, link in the doobly-doo. Oh, it's Bree. Speaking of Bree being fussy, hold on one second. Honey, do you want to be on the stream? Come here. This is Bree. She's been extra fussy today. Yes, you have. She always does this. Every time I pick her up, she sticks out her little back feet like little chicken legs. Mm-hmm. Yep. Paying the cat tax. Getting a little tongue-tied there. Paying the cat tax. Because I've been talking about Bree. You're on camera. Mm-hmm. You would not believe that she is 17 years old. And yet she is. Oh, I know. She got stuck on the wrist cuff there for a second. Oh, really? I love your style and looks great. I knew you would come up with something wonderful. Oh my gosh! Girl, you flatter me. Oh my goodness. Am I able to do a little, like... Oh, whoops. tech thing, please stand by. Oh, I changed my password recently. Hold on. Riveting stuff. Bear with me a second. We'll get to the next step in a second. Tech difficulties. Okay, I think I have to start that window over again. Docs. Chat. There we go. Okay. Tech issue resolved. Oh. Sorry, OBS got really confused for a second there. Alrighty. Okay, just making sure that I'm gonna put the earbuds back in the correct sides here. Okay. Oh, we gotta make a new layer. And we are going to put that at 50%. Yeah. Actually, we're gonna put that at 25%. Nope, 50. 50 will do. Because it's still a pencil-y texture. The inks will stand out just fine. Okay. I'm actually going to do something a little different with the eyes this time. I don't usually add such flair to eyelashes, but I figure with this particular character model, I think it only makes sense. Switch windows for a second, actually, because I will say having the navigator window in the upper right and having the ability to just flip horizontal, boy, does it make catching errors so much easier. Thank you, Clip Studio Paint, for having that built in. That's much better. Okay. Excuse me, I'm actually going to do something. This is a little trick that I sometimes do with my comics. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to put a border effect on this layer, and I'm going to switch over to the white brush and boom. Wait, better idea. Since we're going with the anime aesthetic. I think I could do that a little different. I'm going to flip the canvas, see how that looks. Okay. We'll leave it there for now, I think. Violet, let me know what you think. For sure, because this is, admittedly, adding highlights to this degree is kind of new to me, so let me know what you think. Admittedly, I love drawing characters for other folks. I love doing little character arts. One of my favorite things that I got to do back when I worked for Neverending was drawing the character commissions for the Kickstarter backers, particularly for the first campaign. That was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that I got to do that. It was one of my favorite things I got to do, was just draw character commissions for backers. There is just something about drawing characters for folks. I mean, I just love drawing character art, period. I'm always a little weary when I use Control Z on stream, because having Clip Studio Paint and OBS up at the same time, sometimes my computer thinks that it's just too much to run at once. And so it starts doing really funky things sometimes. So sometimes I try not to use Control Z when I'm streaming. I could not tell you how many times I use it outside of live streams because I don't really keep track. There we go. No tufts like what Mooney's got, because those are just so cute. And yes, his full name is Mooney Vegeta Muser Peterson Crawford. We both decided to name him as such because he was very prince-like. And also he had the little M on his forehead. He still has the little M on his forehead. He does live up to his namesake of Vegeta, though, because he screams. He'll sometimes, whenever he really, really wants attention, he'll just walk around the apartment just howling, even though he knows exactly where we are. Like, he'll just walk around and just kind of scream for us, and I'm like, Mooney. Oh, hello, Dragon Cove. Happy to have you here. But yeah, we named him Mooney Vegeta Muser Peterson Crawford, and he really lives up to the Vegeta part of his middle name. He also really likes to play and pick fights. I do feel a little bad because the only other kitties that we have here are on the older side. Boo Boo is 10 now, and Bree Bree is 17, and Mooney is just about to turn a year old. So he has all kinds of energy, and really the only ones in this house who are going to play with him a bunch are going to be myself and my roommate. The older ladies don't really want to play. Particularly Bree Bree. Bree Bree just wants to find a warm spot and take a nap. But admittedly, it is kind of fun to play with a kitten, because he's got the energy that Bree Bree used to. Boo Boo has always been pretty chill. Boo Boo's just a chill cat. It does help that, like, anytime that my roommate is away for work, Boo Boo just, like, lays next to the cat fountain like she's dead and just does not move the entire day. She's just absolutely distraught that my roommate is away at work, having to, you know, work outside of the home to pay the bills, and woe is me. Cats don't understand. But that's okay. Yeah, it just means that Boo Boo is just a very distraught, dramatic lump until my roommate comes home. And then she starts pacing and chittering, and it's cute. Our kitty does that, usually trying to get us into a different room. Sometimes Bri will do that too. Like, sometimes Bri will, particularly if there are guests over, or if she gets real fussy if it's like way past my bedtime and she knows it and she wants me to go to bed, is she'll just like kind of come up and then she'll start chittering and she'll start trying to hustle me into the bedroom. It's quite cute. It's honestly quite cute. Now, at some point, I heard a scritch. I may take a break from this commission to pencil another one, because there is another commission I was thinking about working on for this stream. We'll see how things go. Because I actually have 3 slots filled right now. This is one. There's another Kickstarter backer who's slot number 2, and then there was somebody whom I met at Small Press Expo who's commissioning me for something, and that's slot number 3. That would be the commission that I would work on, aside from this one, during this stream, is the one from the person that I met at Small Press Expo. I do still have slots available, so if you are watching this and you are interested in paying me to draw something for you, more info is going to be in the doobly-doo. My information for all of my commission info is going to be below the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strike information. Also, because of the strikes happening in the auto industry, because I'm based up in Toledo area is going to be hit real hard by those car industry strikes. So a lot of the food pantries in the area are actually gearing up to intake a lot more people than usual. And so if you are able to, there is more information on how to donate to the Equality Toledo Food Pantry in the doobly-doo as well. That's below the SAG-AFTRA strike information. Anything helps. I'm supporting Equality Toledo Food Pantry because they are LGBTQ run, so they do not discriminate on that basis. But there are still going to be people who work in the auto industry who are going to need all the support that we can get, especially from food pantries. So anything helps. I might do a charity stream. I've never done one, so I don't know how that works. So we'll see. You know what? I'm just gonna... Something about that line was just not clicking for me, so I'm just gonna come at it from a different angle. Okay. Aw, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. I just saw your comment about how you would donate to a food pantry because, you know, there were times you had to eat because of a food pantry. Totally understand that. That was a lot like our circumstance when I was growing up, so any little bit helps. Appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I might look into doing a charity stream about that. I had information bookmarked. I'm just trying to remember where I put that bookmark. I don't like that. Let's try that again. Okay. It's a bit better. Keep these fingers nice and dainty. I will say the change in weather has me making a lot more soup lately. I feel like I've perfected the potato soup recipe that I have. I have to do it a little bit differently because I am lactose intolerant. So usually when I make potato soup, it's not with whole milk. Because if I make it with whole milk, I get sick. So I often make potato soup with almond milk instead. Flavor-wise, I don't notice much of a difference. Honestly, I consider it kind of funny that I am lactose intolerant as an adult now because I didn't used to be. But I knew growing up, one of my grandmothers, Grandma Rini, was lactose intolerant. Because anytime that we went over, the milk that she got was only for us. Any other recipe that she was making, she would not incorporate milk into it. So pancakes, it was usually the quick mix, and it was always made with water. Scrambled eggs, never made with milk. It wasn't until I was like in college that somebody made scrambled eggs with milk, and I was like, wait, that's a thing? Because I had just grown up with, because I grew up with a lactose intolerant grandparent, I didn't know any different. And then, I actually discovered this when I was much younger, because, I mean, we always knew Rini was lactose intolerant, but it wasn't until I was like 11 or 12 that I discovered that you could make pancakes with milk. And that was because of somebody who my mom was dating at the time. I still consider him my father figure. He's passed away, unfortunately, but he knew how to make pancakes from scratch, and he would always make them with milk. And I thought they were the best bedang pancakes in the entire history. Like, they were great. They were absolutely great. He knew how to make a lot of stuff. Like, I was shocked because up to that point, up until I was like 11 or 12, I always kind of grew up with the notion that dads didn't know how to cook, because my biological dad certainly didn't know how. But, you know, my stepdad did. And it was great. He knew how to make pancakes from scratch. He could make all kinds of stuff. It boggled my mind. I was like, this is so cool. I'm actually going to flip the canvas for a second. There's something about the way the foot is drawn. Okay. I think I know what it is. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually turn some layers off. That looks better to me. Okay. Yeah, and totally not like the sketch layer. That's what I was thinking, but I wanted to be certain. That's why I turned those layers off. Yeah, I only recently became lactose intolerant. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I didn't start showing lactose intolerant symptoms until probably 2013 when I lived out in Arizona with my older sibling. That was when I started to notice. And then when I started to have less milk, that was when I started feeling gross a lot less. And then I was like, oh, man. My father sometimes made pancakes from scratch. That's delightful. That is delightful. There we go. Now this foot doesn't have to be nearly that long because I did shorten the other foot, so okay, how is that looking? It's not too bad. I'm going to turn the pencil layers off though so that you can see. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was hesitant about the eyes, but now that I'm zoomed out, it looks great. This is just so cute. My goodness. I did see in the notes that purple needs to be incorporated. We are definitely incorporating purple. In fact, we're going to be incorporating a lot of different shades of purple. I'm going to adjust this line real quick. Ta-da! Okay. Make it look like there's some shadows going on here. I'm gonna refer only to editing layer here in a second. Okay. Usually whenever I draw art or character art, I usually add the lighting effects first and then I do the color flats. You know, I think I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm going to, well, first I'm going to group these layers together into inks. And then we're going to make another layer and we're going to call that shades. And then we're going to set that to multiply 35%-ish. And because I know my color theory, I know that the complement to violet and other shades of purple is going to be yellow. So we're going to have the shadows be within the yellow sphere of the color spectrum. So about here-ish. Yeah. Earlier in the stream, I said that I would consider taking a pause and then just moving on to a different... oh, actually, it occurred to me, before I move on to the shading step, if there is anything that you would like me to add or change, Violet, now is a good time to bring it up. Here we are at the inking stage. Let me know what you think. I'm going to save progress real quick. And... while chat is catching up there, I'm actually going to update the... I have a public Trello board where I keep track of commissions. That way, people who commission me can see on the Trello board what status their commission is at. So, okay, it's this one. Boop. just moving the cards around on Trello, because the way that Trello is set up is that there are columns and then there are cards inside of those columns, and you can move the cards from one column to another. So let's see. That really came together. Thank you. I don't know color theory, so feel free to pick the shades that work together best. Thank you. Nope, looks perfect. Marvelous. Thank you. Yes, it really did come together really well, didn't it? Also, since I have found myself in the flow, I think I'm just gonna continue working on this commission. I'm not gonna betray my flow. My flow dictates that I continue working on this, so I'm gonna honor that. I'm gonna honor the flow. By the way, Eileen, if you are watching this live or on the replay, I sent you an update on your commission. Could you check your inbox? Make sure that it didn't accidentally get sorted into spam? Please and thank you. Because I did actually start making some progress on that. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to that point. There we go. Simplify that a little bit. Waha. Sometimes a lot of magic happens in the adding the lighting stage. When it's like, so this is the shape that it needs to be in. I see, I see. I think I'll add other highlights for the commission as well. Because the kind of coloring work that I do for my comics is super simplified. I usually keep it to like a layer of color flats and a layer of shades. That's generally about it most of the time when it comes to my webcomics. But when it comes to commissions or some comic pages, I do like to get a little extra. Full disclosure, I don't know how long I will be streaming tonight because I completely forgot that I had signed up for a get-together on Zoom at like 8 o'clock. So right now it's about 6:53 Eastern Standard Time. Or Eastern Dated Time? Eastern Daylight Time? I don't know what EDT stands for. I've just noticed more and more places are posting EDT rather than EST, so I've just been defaulting to that. And the swoops, so many swoops when it comes to hair. So many swoops. Swoopa. Now, with this commission, I'm thinking about adding some highlights. And I have an idea of where the highlights are going to go already. We're not going to work on that yet. We've got to add the shades first. I'll go ahead and answer this question. I don't know if it's been asked in the chat yet, but it's, you know, something I think about sometimes. Any weird commissions that I've ever dealt with? When I started doing this webcomics and illustration thing for a living. I haven't gotten too many weird commission requests. Most of the weird commission requests that I ever got were when I worked as a caricature artist at Cedar Point. There were some weird ones. There were definitely some weird ones. And also a lot of personal requests that, like, you know, there would be some women who would be like, please don't draw my mustache. And I'm like, I will honor that. Because, you know, drawing caricatures, there's that, like, implication that, like, it's your job to be mean to others for a living, but I did my best to never interpret my job that way when I was a caricature artist. I took it upon myself to try to not draw people in a mean way. About the meanest I ever got was, at least rendering customers. I think the meanest I ever got was, there was a dude who was a volleyball player, and he had this big chonkin beard. And I drew the volleyball getting stuck in the beard. I think that was the meanest I ever got. See, this is why I do my brushing in broad strokes, not just because of the caricature's background, but also because it makes swooping in with the paint bucket tool to color in broad swatches like so much easier. I might edit this, we'll see. By the way, to clarify an earlier point, I did make the quip about drawing caricatures, and sometimes women would request, please don't draw my mustache. Totally understand. PCOS is a bitch to deal with, if you'll excuse my language. For folks who don't know, PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It results in a lot of, like, hormonal fuck-ups in your body. And one of the hormonal things that it can make you do is, as a female-bodied person or a person with a uterus, suddenly start growing mustaches and other weird chin hairs and body hairs that you normally don't grow on your own. There are other symptoms of PCOS as well, including really painful periods and cramps. It's awful. I have family with PCOS, and it's awful. Broad swatches of color. Catching up on comments real quick. Oh, thank you for clarifying what Eastern Daylight Time. That's what EDT is. EST, Eastern Standard Time. EST is my preferred even during my daylight savings. Honestly, daylight savings is really stupid. I'm just going to say that as somebody who lived in Ohio for most of my life, but did live in Arizona, and Arizona broadly did not observe daylight savings. It was honestly one of the smartest things that they've ever done. It did make keeping track of shows on cable TV a little tricky, because being in Arizona, it's like for half of the year you're on Mountain Time, but then the other half of the year you're on Pacific Time, and that can get really annoying. But it is really nice to not have to deal with daylight savings time. And no matter what pop culture says, it was not the farmers that prompted daylight savings to happen. It was factory owners. It was never the farmers. It was never a farmer's idea to do daylight savings. Again, broad swatches of color. I'm gonna have some tea. Just thinking about, because I realized how zoomed in the image is on my art, thought about how Ben and I were talking. Ben's another art streamer, although lately he's been streaming a lot of video games. But he and I got to talking about streaming because I was like, is it okay if I draw the robot anthologies submission that I sent? Is it okay if I draw that on streams? And one of the organizers was like, but Ben was like, Kelsey's really zoomed in on their art. There's really not much of a threat. And I'm like, you're not wrong. I do zoom in a lot when I'm streaming these live. Here we go. Broad swatches of color. And boop, boop. Tidy this up a little bit. Oop. Okay. So far, so good. Working in IT, daylight savings is frustrating. I imagine, because you're probably dealing with a bunch of areas who either observe it or do not observe it. But also dealing with technology and whether it actually, like, converted the time zones or not. I can imagine that's annoying, and I'm sorry that you have to put up with that. Okay. I've hit most of the major spots. I think the only area left is the leg. Yeah. Okay, this is big enough broad strokes that I just wanted to use the lasso. It's just easier that way. There we go. Okay. And here she is, shaded in. Figure I'd save this here before I start adding any highlights. Okay. As far as highlights go, I think I know where I'm going to put them. And for the highlight stage, we're actually going to make another layer. Highlights. Because I do this so rarely, I can never remember what setting I have them at. So let's do... screen? I think it's screen. We'll find out. Oh, I missed a spot in the shades. Hold on. That's a bit better. Okay. It's screen. Cool. A little bit of gloss on the lips there, maybe. Bottom lip at least. Okay, now for the hair. Hair definitely needs to have some highlights in there. Give it that little extra pop. Little bit of highlights in the little tufts in the ears because it's very cute. I think so anyway. Make that a little bit more uneven. Okay. Highlight, highlight, and a little bit there, a little bit there. Definitely some over here. Okay. I don't want to put too much on the bust there, because we don't want that to be the main focus. Add a little bit of texture to the dress there. I think that'll do. Highlights, I try to keep it somewhat simple. Oh, the shoes. The shoes need some highlights. And there we go. Okay, saving our progress. I'm gonna do another zoom out. Shaboom. Oh, she is so cute. I love how she looks, completely not what I expected, in the best possible way. Aw. Oh, that's good to hear. I never know how to take the completely not what I expected in the best possible way. But you know what? I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. She is quite cute, I gotta say. Okay, now we're at the color flat stage. This is where we're going to start incorporating a lot of different hues of purple. To get there, though, we're going to need to turn off the highlight and shades layer, and we're going to need to make another layer, color flats, and yeah. Actually, before we do that, we need to hop back over to Trello for a quick moment. I use Trello to track my projects, so I like to check things off as I go. Cool. Okay. Make sure we got that covered. You know, I never did add that flower. I know the flower was optional. I never did add a flower. If you'd like a flower in there, just let me know. I can add it in. Well, I stare at my model all the time, so that's what I think of. But your drawing is super cute and has a lot of personality. Aw, thank you. Yeah, I can see that being a thing. You know, comparing to a 3D model, like, you know, a drawing is going to be very different in that respect. I get that now. Since you put it that way, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That tracks. But yeah, if you'd like me to add a flower in there, I can absolutely add a flower in. Flower meanings. Thank you, almanac.com. The language of flowers. There's like an entire flowchart of this stuff. Now, unfortunately, the website that I just pulled up doesn't have like pictures to go along with these names, so I'm gonna have to like look them up at another layer. But I have a list. Okay. Ooh. So there's an herb called Angelica. And that flower meaning is inspiration. We could absolutely do Angelica if we wanted, quite possibly. But it does kind of look like a weed, so let's see if there's another one. Basil? I have a basil plant outside. I don't need to pull up a picture. The basil plant actually really needs to be brought back inside, but I don't trust Mooney with any potted plants. Ooh. Oh, well, that's cute. I just looked up a Kala lily? Kaya lily? I don't know how you pronounce it. C-A-L-L-A lily. But they're kind of cute. Yeah. No flower is fine. Okay, I will take your word for it. I was really tempted to add a flower in there. But if no flower is good for you, it's good for me. So, color flats then. Bring on the purple! Okay. Actually, yeah, cool. I'm glad I didn't get rid of the reference image in that corner over there. So, let's see. We're going to do a kind of a... Actually, before I do anything, I do need to do this. I'm using the wand tool to select the space around the figure. Because then we can invert the selected area, paint bucket, refer only to editing layer, boom. And that fills in the entire figure. And then that way I don't have to worry about trying to fill in any other space. Because this fills in the gaps for me, doing it that way. Work smarter, not harder. Make sure the tufts are adequately cute. We gotta fill this in. Boop, boop, boop. Got all the spots? Got all the spots. Excellent. Okay, so we got the base layer. Gotta go in and... because that doesn't need to be white. Okay. So, shades of purple. Well, the ears have to match the tail. Doop. We'll figure that out. And for the dress, we'll actually go with a kind of a deeper indigo violet kind of tone. Yeah. Look at that, very cute. I was very tempted to give this art yellow eyes, and then I was like, anime tropes dictate that yellow eyes indicates an evil character, and I think this character is nice. So, we're gonna do more like red violet eyes instead. Wait till I turn on the layer and the shades and highlight layers. That's when the magic is going to happen. Okay. I'm actually going to color sample that there. I adjusted the peach shade of the skin tone a little bit. Get a little bit more of a red orange in there. Help it pop against the purple. Cool. So far, so good. Okay. Zoom out. Make sure we get those fingers. My mind keeps going back to this anime called Angel's Egg. It has never been released stateside. The only way that you can watch it outside of Japan is to watch a bootleg version of it on YouTube. But if Christian imagery does not bother you, I do recommend watching Angel's Egg, because it is an experience. I say Christian imagery. The premise of the movie is actually a twist on the Noah's Ark story, interestingly enough. Because the Noah's Ark story is where, like, you know, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and there was an ark built that housed 2 of every animal in order to save the animals and select few humans. And then after 40 days, Noah sent out a dove, and when the dove comes back with an olive branch, that's when he knew that it was safe to land. Angel's Egg takes that myth and goes, what if the dove never came back? And that is interesting. It is also one of those movies that, like, look, the director, who was also the director for Ghost in the Shell, will say that he didn't make this movie with any particular intent in mind, but when he made this movie, it was fairly well known that he studied Christianity and considered himself Christian up to a point, but then he had a falling out with his faith, and I feel like he made Angel's Egg as a way to process loss of faith. That's part of what makes it fascinating to me. Catching up on comments real quick. All the purple. Yes, all the purple. We are doing all the purple. Purple's a great color. Also one of those colors that is tricky to replicate in nature. That's why it is often the color of royalty. That and lapis lazuli, the stone, and a lot of shades of blue, because those are also really hard colors to replicate in nature. Okay, now for the hair, we're gonna do something kind of close to the tail and the ears, but I think maybe a little more vibrant purple. Let's try that. It's a bit too neon. Let's try that again. I feel like that's slightly better, but still, it's missing something. It's missing something. Let's actually do a little trick. I'm gonna multiply. And we're gonna play with the opacity of that layer. I like that a lot. There we go. Try to get all these little nooks and crannies. One of these days I'll figure out how to have music playing in the background while I am live streaming. Don't know how you would do it with OBS. I'm sure there's a way. Ooh, because of my little trick I did earlier, I can do refer editing layer and boom. There we go. Oh, the shoes. We can't forget the shoes. I'm going to go a little darker on these ones. Okay. So we've got the color flats. And here's where the magic's going to happen. Look at that! We added those highlights and now it pops. It's delightful. If there is anything else that you would like me to add, definitely let me know. Oh yeah, with the hair color, that little like multiply layer trick that I was doing. Yeah, because like I knew that if I made a separate layer, did multiply, and then layered a different color on top of that, that I would get a result that was closer to what I was looking for, and I was right. It worked. Oh, let's zoom in on the details a little bit for this a cute little cat girl. We got, oh my gosh, look at these highlights. Look at the highlights on the eyes. So vibrant, much color, very perk. Oh, and the ears, so tuft. Yes, and the hair, so highlighted, so cute, much bounce. The glasses! We can't forget the glasses. Holy dang. Okay, here's what we're going to do for the glasses. We're going to make it layer in inks. And to help them pop, we're going to make those glasses a gold color. Turn on the border layer here. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to put the glasses there. Methinks. Maybe? Nah. Back in the inks. We'll adjust that in a bit. I knew there was something I was forgetting, and it turned out it was the glasses. I'm going to adjust that line right there. Okay, now because we did that, we're gonna have to go back into the shade layer and erase a couple things, and maybe add a couple things. There we go. Okay, let's turn off some layers real quick. There we go. And to get across that these are glasses, we'll go ahead and put the highlights there. Oh gosh, where'd the highlights go? Okay. Sometimes it is hard to tell when you turn the background layers off, but there we go. And a little bit of shine here, a little bit of shine here. Okay. Oh goodness, so cute. I'm glad I remembered the glasses. That would have been a disaster if I forgot them. Whew. Okay. Music is pretty easy. There are some good guides online. I use Spotify. I could show you sometime. I have a complex OBS setup that has a little bit of everything. Fair. But I would love to hear more about that. Oh, a collar. I can add a collar. That is no problem. Alex, not sure what you're referencing. So let's add that collar real quick. Let's actually do an ink layer because that'll be faster. Ooh. Yellow for this one because it is a accessory. That's the word. Let's do yellow, kind of a yellow goldish. Yeah. And we'll turn on the border effect on this one as well. Boop. Makes it look like a gold necklace doing this. Okay. Oh, let's actually get the shade and the highlights again. I think there were some highlights over here. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to add the highlights real quick first. And then the shades. Oh, wrong color. That's better. Oh, and a little layer underneath. And voila! Yeah, it makes it look like a simple necklace that way. Collars are standard cat girl accessories. Yes, they are. Aw, well, thank you for the compliment, Alex. To address the question that you asked, I've been having some very nasty troubles being consistent drawing glazzies or eyes. Do you have any suggestions to get better? So when it comes to drawing eyes, I actually came across this hot tip a while back ago, and it changed how I draw eyes. So what you want to do, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate on the pencil layer over here. What you'll want to do is you'll want to draw eyes one step at a time. So there's the top line for one eye, top line for the other, sideline, sideline, bottom, bottom, side, side, pupil, pupil. You'll want to try to do the steps kind of quote at the same time when drawing eyes. Beyond that, if there's a particular look with the eyes, if you want to draw these kinds of eyes, or these kinds of eyes, or any other kind of eyes, just check out how to draw books. That's how I got my start. But also look at, honestly, I would recommend checking out Hunter x Hunter by Yoshihiro Togashi, because all of his characters have very wildly different character designs, and that includes their eye shapes. Oh, it is 7:30. I had that alarm because I mentioned earlier that there was something that I signed up for happening at 8 o'clock, so that was kind of my half-hour warning. Okay, hope that helps. So, here is our little commission here. Looking very cute, if I say so myself. Let's see. All right, Violet, let me know what you think. I'm thinking if all is good, then I can send you the final files for this. But if there's anything that you would like me to add at the last minute, definitely let me know. I can add that in real quick. while you're thinking about it, I'm actually going to pull up another commission that I have on the side here. Should have prepped this ahead of time, and I did not. But here we go. Okay. Now, this is just the rough layer. These were the roughs that I sent to the client, and he said we can move forward with these. So now I can start like actually refining things. So we're actually going to put the opacity at 25 for that. The roughs will give me an idea of like where the figures are going to be placed in the space. But at this point, we're actually going to draw the figures more than just like stick figures. Again, roughs are just like, hey, here's where I want to put the characters in the space. Now, these are supposed to be business people, so I'm going to very intentionally have their body language be kind of stiff. I also think having some characters that are a little on the huskier side is going to be a perk. Kneecap. Kind of get that down. Thicken the neck a little bit since this character is going to be on the huskier side. Characters are talking to each other over here. But I like to think that if this was like a casting call kind of situation, that the characters that are over on this end are going to be like watermelon, 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 which is apparently common filler dialogue for background characters in films. Fun fact. I love it. She's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. Did you design? Oh, to answer your question, Alex, based on the notes that Violet gave me, the model that I just drew for her was actually based on something that she had got done previously. She just wanted me to kind of elaborate on it and put a little bit more personal touches in there. So that is how that came to be. But awesome. Glad that this got the stamp of approval. So after the stream and before I head to my little 8 o'clock thing, I will go ahead and send the finished files your way. Till then, I'm actually going to see if I can... I want to see how far I can get in the layouts for this before... like in the next like 10 minutes. We'll see how far I can get with this. Okay, this character I think is going to be itty bitty teeny weeny, not quite yellow polka dot bikini. Again, this is a business setting. So let's actually rotate the head here on this figure. It's going to be tilting the head to look at this character who's not quite their height. Boop, boop. Yeah. Nose placement, nose placement. There we go. Again, itty bitty teeny weeny figure over here. In heels, of course. Again, these are layouts. They're not going to be, like, perfect, but I do want to get the general look down before I do any fine details or anything. Legs for days! That person. Okay. Gesturing with the hands. person's going to have one hand on the other hip, but it's just not going to be seen at that angle. And then there's this person over here. This person is basically telling this guy, don't worry about it. And then this guy is going to worry about it. It's kind of the general gist of this particular thing. I'm not going to get into too many details of the exact scene, but we are going to just rough the layout here. Let's give this person a kind of a more square jaw. Here's the head size a little bit. That's a bit big. See, this is why I like doing digital pencils, is that I can just do stuff like that. It's great. Okay. This person's going to be a bit more broad. So let's... Again, this is why I like doing digital pencils, because I can just do stuff like that without having to erase, draw again, erase, draw again. I had to take a second to think of how I want his hands to gesture. I think I'm going to do this. This figure's going to have some blunter fingers. Solid block, this guy. Okay, I think I can keep the figures about that size. We'll see. Arm I could enlarge. Let's do that real quick. Wah. That did not take much. I like it when adjustments don't need to take a whole lot. Oh, for anybody who reads my webcomics, there was a webcomic that I was drawing and I had to put on hiatus, called Vanita and the Demon King. It will be taken off of hiatus very soon. I had to rewrite a section of the beginning a little bit, but now I'm really happy with the rewrites. So yeah, production is going to resume. I will make announcements the closer that we get to resuming regular updates for that one. The Legend of Jamie Roberts, still updating strong. So if you would like a webcomic to read, check out thelegendofjamieroberts.com. Link will also be in the doobly-doo. Yeah. And for anybody who's watching this live or catching the replay, I am available for commissions. You can find out more in the commission info. Link in the doobly-doo. Or KelseyDCrawford.com. That works too. But most of that information is going to be in the doobly-doo. Again, this guy's going to be a brick, so he's not going to have, like, the most curvaceous legs. He's just going to be a stack. He's just a stack. And I'm going to give him... I'm going to need to redraw these feet, but... A stack. A very solid stack. Goodness. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to... Okay. Sorry, I had to like imagine the space for this particular gesture that I want him to do with his other arm, so... I guess I'll leave that for now, but I'm going to revisit that. And then this person, who is very neurotic, is going to be on the, like, more net build side. But if any of you are regular readers of The Legend of Jamie Roberts, you know how much... You know that there's been a lot of butts the last couple of chapters. Like, these are supposed to be people that I'm drawing right now. These are supposed to be people in, like, business suits and whatnot, but, like... Sometimes you just gotta know how to draw a butt. I'm going to turn off the rough layers for a second, and I'm going to... I'm actually going to move those figures a little closer towards the center. Not too far, though. But, like, trying to implement the rule of thirds, like, have them be, like, the most dominant force on that side. When it comes to the composition. I definitely need to redraw these feet. Okay, I'm only going to be drawing for a couple more minutes and then I'm going to be wrapping up the stream because I just noticed what time it is right now. By the way, if you liked this stream, I am planning a second stream this week, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So keep an eye out for that. I will be posting the link on YouTube very, very soon. Still getting some technical bits done for that one, but I do intend on streaming again Friday, 6 p.m. Do the YouTube stuff. Subscribe and notification. Bye. There's a little part of me that knows that I should probably go into the full spiel, and then there's another part of me that's like, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna need to rotate the torso just a tweet it. I feel like I'm pulling a Marisha Ray sometimes whenever it comes to, like, doing the YouTube spiel. Because there's a little part of me that's like, no. I'm gonna not do it as long as I need to. No. Here we go. Kind of a neutral stance for main character over here. I think that'll do for layouts. I'm going to need to wrap this up now, actually. So let's go ahead and X out of that window and bring up this finished masterpiece. Isn't she so cute? Oh, this has been a fun stream as always, and it was great to see Bree again. Yes, she is doing quite well. I will be giving her lots of snuggles once I get off of this stream before my 8 o'clock thing starts. So, alrighty. Adjust the camera. Didn't realize it was that far back. Holy dang. Okay. Apologies if you were looking up my nose for a good chunk of the stream. So, that is all for this stream. Also, Violet Bitkitten, thank you so much for requesting this commission from me, and also thank you for your support for The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volume 2. As part of her rewards bundle, she requested this commission, so awesome. If you would like me to draw a commission for you, there's more info in the doobly-doo down below. If you are watching on YouTube, if you're watching on my blog, there's also going to be more information down there. So I am available for commissions. I have 7 spots available. Some spots are marked down from their usual price. The black and white portraits and full figures in particular are marked down on sale. So, oh, it's so cute. Great job. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was hoping that I could draw more commissions for this particular stream, but then I completely forgot about that 8 o'clock thing, so sorry. But maybe we can draw more commissions this upcoming Friday. Yes, there will be another stream this Friday at 6 p.m. So do the YouTube stuff to make sure that you get the notifications when that goes live. And I do have webcomics, like The Legend of Jamie Roberts. It is about a genderqueer pirate and their 2 best friends treasure hunting in a land full of dragons. We are partway into chapter 9 now, but we're not too far in, so now's a good time to catch up. I also updated the archives, so if you would like to check that out, thelegendofjamieroberts.com. More links in the doobly-doo. And Mr. Dino and Friends is still on Crowdfunder. We extended the campaign deadline to October 6th because we want to honor our supplier going on vacation in the next couple of days. So we are going to wait until they are back from vacation before we put any orders in. So to accommodate that, we are extending the Mr. Dino Pride keychains crowdfunder, and we're accepting orders for that until October 6th. More info on that is going to be at crowdfunder.com/Mr. Dino Pride. No punctuations. There's also going to be a link in the description. That's all I've got for now. Thank you all so much for watching. You are awesome.